and the Cavs side. And honestly, the only story is LeBron James, if you want to talk about positivity. This is respect. Steve Kerr back on the floor. That's a big storyline coming into the game. LeBron giving them some dap and love there. And then success in the first half. Close range, inside. And this was the theme for LeBron in the first half. I am going to attack. And Iguodala making a business decision getting out of the way. JaVale McGee, tough foul, still goes in. Hard foul, but LeBron, I mean, you're talking about 6'8", 250 at least. LeBron also getting his teammates involved, trying to get Kyrie. They need Kyrie. LeBron fully aware. We need my number 2 there next to me to get off. He had 10 dimes in the first half, most assists in any postseason half of his career. Steph, though, the Warriors simply too much. And this is what I talk about when lateral movement, the joy. Oh, boy. LeBron trying to get it on the trail with the block. Could not get there in time. That was the play everybody's talking about. Later in the quarter, Cavs down 12. LeBron, Klay Thompson on him. LeBron pulls up for the 3, misses. Great job getting into the paint to score in the first half, but then starting to settle down for those long-range shots in the second. He looked tired. He would need an IV after the game.
Nah, I'm good. I'm good. Just need some food and some wine. I'll be all right.
Excuse me. He was asked if he would need an IV. Well, they're in Northern California. I hear it's pretty good right now.
Amen to that.
Right?
Was this a case where you guys just need to defend home court at this point?
Well, I mean, are you a smart guy?
I think so. Sure.
I think so, right? So if we don't defend home court, what happens?
But yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying.
I'm asking you.
Well, yeah, you guys are looking at getting swept.
All right. So the answer to your question.
Well, all right. Kev, hang tight. Going to head to Oakland now where we find our Stefano Fusaro. Triple-double for LeBron, but another double-digit loss. Stefano, describe his frustration level as you listened to him speak last night.
Well, Jay, he was frustrated on many levels, and for starters, he didn't even go to the podium for his post-game press conference. Rather, speaking at his locker, our own Rachel Nichols reported that he's been annoyed with the amount of time he's had to wait to actually get into the interview room in the past few days. But then, of course, what happened on the court overwhelmed him the most last night. Listen, the Cavs did a lot of things better in Game 2 than they did in Game 1, but still, the Warriors managed to pull away at the end, and the Cavs managed to lose by 19.
So for the most part, with the game plan that we had, we tried to execute it as close as possible. We was much more physical today than we was, in Game 1. And we forced them to 20 turnovers, and they still, beat us pretty good. So, we got to be much better too.
Well, obviously a sense of frustration there from King James, but not all the players were feeling the same way. All the Cavaliers players were feeling the same way. Kyrie Irving said after the game about the pace of play that the Warriors' speed isn't really what's affecting them. But I did speak to a player in the Warriors locker room that actually told me, quote, "They're trying to run with us and they can't. No one can play at our pace. They have to try to slow the game down, but that's not easy to do against us," end quote. And clearly differing opinions in the locker room, but it's the Warriors who have the advantage now, up 2-0 heading to Cleveland.
Indeed they do. Stefano going to be back next hour to hit on the Warriors and the dominance of KD and Curry. Stefano, thank you very much. Well, the Cavs ran 109 possessions in Game 2, the fastest pace a LeBron James team has ever played at in a postseason game. The second fastest pace came in Game 1 of the series at 102 possessions. Did it take its toll on LeBron? He was the slowest dude on the court Sunday, according to NBA.com player tracking, moving an average of 4 miles per hour. I didn't know we could do that. That's interesting. Back over to you, Kev.
Jay, thank you so much. Back here with Ryan. We have a bunch of computers in the background. That's how we can figure it out, right?
Jay's like, what am I at today?
All right.
How many steps have you gotten? Right?
Let's play a fun game here. Let's see what Ryan tweeted last night. How about this, all right? We spend a lot of time on pace, right? Cleveland needs to slow it down. They have pushed it most of the night, and it's better versus this D. It's an interesting angle here when we're talking about pace, and you look at the balance here. The Cavs have to figure out balance that plays to their pace. What works? What should change?
Well, the thing I loved, and I think what we all love, is when we see LeBron come out and attack like crazy in that first half, like I'll have friends that go, why don't you just do that every single play? And you're like, because it's physically impossible. You cannot keep up this approach. You know, whenever anybody settles for a jump shot, it's inevitably led by, why don't you just drive to the hoop? The decision, like that option is not always there for you just to endlessly drive to the hoop 30 times in a row. But he actually looked like he was going to try to pull this off in the first half. And I'm going like, all right, it's kind of working. When they were getting it out in transition, they were pushing it up to other guys out there. Even off of some makes, they were trying to like get it out and get their offense going before Golden State could set up this awesome defense. So I kind of understood what they were doing. And look, we all love it when players attack and players are finishing at the rim, and LeBron was fantastic at it. The problem is they were spent in the second half, absolutely spent. And, you know, I know that I feel like we spend way too much time talking about rest. This was not rest in number of games and number of minutes this year. This is pace that you played at within this game. And Cleveland, I know everybody just says, hey, shoot with 4 or 5 seconds left. But it was obvious, like Durant saw a play in transition against LeBron where he's like, this guy's done. Like, I'm going to just go ahead and attack him. And I think this is the play, Kevin, that you guys look at here where Durant looks at LeBron's like, nope, he doesn't have it anymore, and then makes an absurd layup over the double team.
He just read it.
I thought he read it perfectly. I thought he saw, you know what, I'm on a roll here, okay? And Love comes over and brings him that help, and then Kevin steers down Love and not LeBron, by the way. I thought he could see at that stretch, if you were watching within that game, he's like, LeBron is tired. LeBron is tired because of this game, because of what he tried to do in the first half. He's like, I'm not even going to wait around. I'm going right at you. And he was able to get the angle and get on him. And he still makes a ridiculous shot. But it was very telling for me. I'm like, Durant, I write down, I'm like, Durant knows he's that tired.
So when you look at their last 2 losses, it was 22 points, 19 points respectively. But you think that the Cavs should be more frustrated about last night. Why?
Oh, easily. Because game one, you just got overwhelmed. I thought their defense was bad. Their offense was bad. I think last night they were good, at least attacking. I thought Kevin Love was really good, and some of the reads that he was looking at with Golden State's defense, and he and LeBron being on the same page. And then you're chipping away. You're like, wait, we're at 2. Or at one point, it was a 1-point game. They're like, we're in this thing. And the next thing you know, it's a blowout again. So, look, they're supposed to lose these games. I'm sorry. Like, I know everybody comes on and goes, adjustment, what do you do? You know, how do we figure this thing out? When they're at their best, Golden State's the better basketball team. But sports has a way of reminding us all the time how wrong we can be at just assuming any of this stuff. But the assumptions that Golden State was overwhelming, like so far it's paying off. So I don't really know what you do if you're Cleveland. I think last night's so much more angering because you go, what, didn't it feel like we were in this one at least? Yeah. And you're like, oh, I guess we aren't.
Zarniak and I were talking about it this morning. Can somebody else help aside from
Kyrie?
Kevin Love? Like, where is everybody? Where is Kyle Korver? When you bring in these shooters around him, and where are these guys to help kind of offset the pace that the Warriors are bringing?
Those shooters are options against. Like, I thought the Channing Frye minutes last night were kind of like a signal that we need to figure out something. Like, Channing Frye hasn't been able to get off the bench in the playoffs in the East, and then you drop him in there in game 2, and just defensively, there's not enough there. Yeah. I think if there's anything to try to figure out here, some of the Kyrie stuff, you know, he has to. It's very clear when he's frustrated. He's like, I'm just taking some of these shots.
But we know that about him, right? I mean, he's shown that in the past, so it's not always been so consistent. So they just, you know what? They're feel-out games, right? In the playoffs.
Yes.
Kidding. Sort of. Yeah, we'll see what happens.
I get it. I'm with you.
The Cavs are the first team, by the way, snaps, in NBA history to trail consecutive NBA Finals 2-0. They should also lose the sleeves. That would help. Ryan's going to be back at 9:30 for much